Tinnitus or tinnitus. You can actually say it either way. I actually say tinnitus. We are talking about the best treatments for tinnitus today. Now, first of all, if you're wondering what it is, tinnitus is the perception of sound without an external sound source. Many people describe it as like a ringing in the ears, but it doesn't have to be ringing. It can be buzzing or clicking or a pulsating noise. It's a big deal too, and a lot of people have this. 50 million people in the United States have reported experiencing tinnitus. And not only that, but tinnitus is the most frequent service-connected disability for U.S. military veterans. There were nearly 1 million veterans receiving disability payments for tinnitus in 2012. It can also have a significant effect on your quality of life. Honestly, there has been a decent association between tinnitus and depression, and so many other conditions. All right, so we are talking about some of the best treatments. Tinnitus is not a disease. It's a symptom of some other underlying health condition. Now, in most cases, tinnitus is a reaction in the brain to damage in the auditory system. And you should know that tinnitus is often associated with hearing loss, but there are also roughly 200 different health disorders that can cause tinnitus as a symptom, okay? So very briefly, let's go through primary and secondary tinnitus. Primary tinnitus has an unknown cause, okay? We don't know what causes it, and it may or may not be linked with hearing loss. Now, secondary tinnitus has a known cause. It can be of the 200 things I mentioned before. Things like a clump of earwax in your ear literally could cause tinnitus, or pressure behind your eardrum. It could be related to Meniere's disease or nerve conditions. It could be caused by tumors or blood vessel problems. Some of the conditions that can cause tinnitus are rare, but many of them are not, okay? And that is what we call secondary tinnitus. Now, I have a video specifically on the many different causes of tinnitus, by the way. Also, like loud noises can cause it, okay? And again, the causes range from things like medications. I didn't mention that before, but earwax, et cetera, et cetera. I will link that video here detailing some of the causes of secondary tinnitus so you know what it can be. But this is the thing. The primary tinnitus, the type of tinnitus where we don't necessarily know the underlying cause, that is the more common of the two categories, okay? In most cases, it is associated with hearing loss. We don't always know what's going on. Most likely it's multifactorial, which means a number of things are playing a role. And this is the thing. If your tinnitus is not caused by something we can identify, is not bothersome, we may not need to do much. But if it is bothersome, we do. And of course, secondary tinnitus has an identifiable cause that, of course, we want to identify. The idea is if there is something causing your tinnitus, aka the secondary causes, we want to be able to find it and fix it if we can, okay? All right, so what should you do if you have tinnitus? Well, the first thing you need to do is you need to get evaluated. I'm a family doctor, board certified family doctor. I see a ton of people for tinnitus, and one of the first things I do, besides looking in their ear and taking a history after I do all those things, is I refer them to an ear, nose, and throat doctor, ENT. That's really important because at the ENT's office, I know they're going to get a really good evaluation, and they're also going to have an audiologist check their hearing. And we know that with primary tinnitus, hearing loss is often associated. Okay. So again, we don't always know the cause of tinnitus, but if there is an underlying cause, earwax or other things, you want someone to find it. So start with an ENT doctor. Okay. And they will determine whether you need like imaging tests to check for tumors or other things, different testing, etc., to try to figure out if there's a secondary cause. They'll be able to do the hearing test, all that good mumbo jumbo. Okay. So once that's done, though, should you get a diagnosis of a primary tinnitus, that's where the suggestions I'm going to offer now weigh in. And that's because if you have a secondary tinnitus, the idea is that there's an underlying cause that has been found and hopefully can be treated, and thus will fix the tinnitus. So we're talking now about the primary tinnitus that is bothersome, okay? Let's first start talking about whether there is a pill for tinnitus. Okay, that's what a lot of people want to know because there are so many companies out there advertising the magic pill, the magic remedy. Let me first start by telling you there is not a magic pill for tinnitus. A lot of companies promise a pill or things like that. It's bogus. And also, in addition to that, a cure for primary tinnitus does not yet exist, despite many companies saying that they can fix it, like aside from the things I'm going to offer. There's also no FDA-approved drugs to treat tinnitus as well. Now, there are options to address the stress, anxiety, depression, and the reactions that your body has to the tinnitus and your perception and so many other things, and that's what we're talking about. Now, these guidelines, by the way, these best treatments for primary tinnitus are according to the AAOHNS. I know it's a mouthful, but it's the American Academy of Otolaryngology head and neck surgery guidelines, okay? First thing they recommend in no particular order is that doctors really should be recommending hearing aid testing for anybody, any of you with hearing loss and tinnitus that meet the criteria. Because the thing about it is hearing aids can absolutely improve your quality of life by correcting any hearing loss if that's going on. Hearing aids can also make tinnitus less noticeable. So if you qualify for hearing aids, you want to know that and get that dealt with because that could help the tinnitus that you have. Another treatment that is recommended by the AAOHNS is sound therapy. Oh my gosh, guys, this can be awesome. So it's important for doctors to potentially offer sound therapy to patients with persistent bothersome tinnitus. And you probably be saying, well, what's that going to help? What's that going to do? Well, sound therapy can use sound to draw your attention away from the tinnitus, the sound you hear. This is called masking, and it's basically as simple as like playing like background music or turning on a fan, playing nature sounds on your computer or through like your phone, etc. Also, there are sound therapy treatments that can be overseen by an audiologist to help reduce your perception of tinnitus by retraining your brain. Like amazing, right? And this is a really big thing. So there's some options in terms of sound. So there's like tabletop machines that can generate different types of sounds like rain sounds, wind sounds, waterfall sounds, CD recordings, water fountains, like if you have one on your desk can be really great. Fans, TV, radio, smartphones, obviously like we all live by our smartphones. There are specific apps that provide these resources. I'm going to put a number of resources in the description of this video. If you're watching on Facebook, just message me so I can send some of these to you. Honestly, it can be amazing. I also have a faceless YouTube channel where I have meditations, and I also have some videos that are just sounds, like chime sounds, rain sounds, so I'll link those here as well. And then the other thing that could be helpful is like combination sort of tinnitus instruments using a combination of the things that I just mentioned, okay? Moving on. Another amazing treatment that really should be recommended is cognitive behavioral therapy. Now, I know you may be saying, what's therapy going to do to help me? No, this is a like mainstay of treatment, okay? Because tinnitus can be stressful. It can cause anxiety, problems with sleeping, aggravation, so much more. And therapy can help you cope. Right? So even though we can't cure tinnitus, we can learn to manage our reaction to it, thereby improving our quality of life. These are evidence-based treatments, guys. Please do not blow this off. I know it may seem disappointing that there's no one magic treatment, but these are the magic treatments, and it's important that you go through with them and try them. The other thing I like is that there are support groups, so I'll make sure I include these in the description as well. Support groups can be really, really helpful. Now let's go back to medications. Remember I was telling you that the internet is chock full of like misleading claims about pills, okay? And according to the AAOHNS, no, like clinicians, doctors should not routinely prescribe medications such as antidepressants, anticonvulsants, anxiolytics, or other medications for persistent bothersome tinnitus, okay? Same thing with like dietary supplements. This society does not recommend ginkgo biloba or melatonin or zinc or other dietary supplements for treating patients with bothersome tinnitus. Do not be discouraged that we don't have medications. Remember, we have these other things I just mentioned, the sound therapy, cognitive behavioral therapy, hearing aids, the proper evaluation, and so much more. I want you to let me know what you think in the comments. I want you to weigh in. Let me know if you have tinnitus, what you do for it, what your doctor has recommended. I'm Dr. Jen Caudle. Subscribe to my channel. Follow me on Facebook, TikTok, Instagram, LinkedIn, WhatsApp, everywhere. Also, sign up for my free health newsletter at drjencaudle.com. I will put resources in the description. Guys, I'm Dr. Jen. Love y'all.